will begin shortly. Your live interactive Weather Authority coverage will begin shortly. Your live Weather Authority coverage starts right now.
Alrighty, good evening, everyone. Friday night, 8 o'clock. Time for a quick little weather extra. Thanks for joining me tonight on Twitter, YouTube, actually X, YouTube, Facebook, whatever platform you're on tonight. We have a storm to talk about this weekend. It looks like snow makes a rare appearance, but we do have an active pattern. In fact, next week we have 2 more storms beyond our Sunday storm. We actually have a pattern that will take us right into the following weekend with probably a rain snowstorm along with some wind on Wednesday and probably another snowstorm next Friday night and into Saturday of next week. That's a ways down the road, so confidence level is low, but we'll take it one storm at a time. Let's start you off this evening with the expected snowfall amounts. Is probably what you want to see. This will be a Saturday night and into Sunday's storm. Let's take a look at that. There we go right there. It looks like most areas in extreme southern Maine get maybe around a foot of snow. So we're probably talking about a half foot to a foot of snow basically running from Sebago Lake area going right up in here. That little line points south. You stand the greatest chance for getting a half foot to a foot. And I do think that there will be some spots in York County that probably get over a foot. Probably should put an 8 to 12 plus in there. The real battle line is probably going to be this little region right here. And that includes Bridgeton, that includes Lewiston, that includes areas just north of maybe Bath, Brunswick, in this area right here. I think that there's going to be a very sharp cutoff between a lot and not much at all. I feel pretty confident the Augusta area stays in that 3 to 6, same up into Waterville, Oxford Hills region. But as far as amounts go, heaviest should be over southern parts of Maine, extreme southern Maine, where York County probably gets the bullseye. This little window right in here, there might be some spots due to some heavy banding that get up over a foot. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Ryan may up that to 8 to 14. That's a possibility for tomorrow. So we're going to keep an eye on that as well. But it's a fluffy snow and it's a little bit wind blown. So it will compact a little bit due to that wind blown activity, especially near the coast. It's not pasty. It's not wet. We're not introducing rain. It's none of that rain wind nonsense that we had just a few weeks ago. This will just be a plain old snowstorm. So be pretty easy to clean up, I think. And that will be Sunday night. You can get the plows to plow the driveways, the sidewalks, the back step, do everything to do with the shoveling by Sunday night. And it looks like we'll be sending the kids back to school on Monday. I don't think we'll have any weather related problems for the morning commute on Monday. So as far as the timing goes, I think the snow gets going between about 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. on Saturday. So that's the timing. So a lot of folks may be doing some plowing perhaps. That's probably the time frame that we'll start to see first flakes. First inch over southern areas, we might get that first inch around midnight or so. And then we're probably talking about that snow really ramping up overnight tomorrow night and through the morning hours on Sunday. So looks to be pretty good. Pretty good little snowstorm, at least over southern Maine. Northern areas probably won't see any snow at all. So we talked about that first inch. The reason I bring that up, we are probably going to tie for the second latest first inch of snow in Portland. The latest, January 16th, 2000. Second latest right now is January 7th, 1958. And we'll probably tie with that. The only question in my mind is, do we get an inch before midnight tomorrow night? It's possible. If that's the case, we'll tie third latest first inch in Portland. That would be January 6th, 1954. Okay, so let's talk about tomorrow first. A lot of folks might be wondering, how's Saturday? No problems tomorrow. Looks to be a good day to get out and about. Look for sun to thickening clouds. So sun to early in the day, but the clouds will quickly thicken. You might get some snow showers over extreme southern Maine. There, I think you'll see the chance for some ocean effect snow showers in York County late in the day tomorrow. That's not the main event. That arrives for tomorrow night. Winter storm watches have been issued by the Weather Service here. Areas in the darker shades of blue, actually in blue here. This includes portions of Mid-Coast Maine, Cumberland County, York County, southern half of New Hampshire. The way to think about this, in the watch area, you stand the greatest chance for getting a half foot or more. And that will likely be converted to a winter storm warning tomorrow morning. You can see offices to the south down into Massachusetts. And over toward Albany reporting in with some winter storm warnings already in effect because the snow begins a little bit sooner off to our south. So this is probably what's going to happen. There'll be winter storm warnings in the areas in blue, and there'll be winter weather advisories up here, and that will be issued tomorrow morning by the National Weather Service. Let's break it down. Right now, we have some thickening clouds off to our west. That becomes our weather for tomorrow. The storm is still pretty far away. Here we are in Portland, and the center of the storm is way down here, down in the Gulf of Mexico. We're actually approaching the Louisiana coast. And that is probably, it looks like it's about 1,400 miles off to our south. So there still are some things that can go wrong with the storm, but we're seeing a pretty strong signal for heavy snow over southern Maine and really lighter snow the farther north you go. There'll be a sharp cutoff between a lot and nothing at all. So let's track this out. This is going to be more of your traditional nor'easter style storm. Again, we're not talking about that rain and southeast wind nonsense that we had a few weeks ago. We might get one of those on Wednesday, though, but not as bad as the one before Christmas. But that one Wednesday probably brings some rain. We'll look at that in a few minutes here. But snow gets going between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. tomorrow. It snows for most of the day on Sunday. I think it lightens up and winds down during the late afternoon and early evening. Heaviest snowfall looks to be confined to extreme southern Maine, southern New Hampshire, and down through southern New England. It's going to be a fun football game to watch down at Gillette Stadium. I don't know about you. I'm looking forward to watching that. Although I'll be here, I think, on Sunday. We'll be, I think Ryan's going to handle the afternoon, and I'll be in the morning, just kind of providing a few updates. So if you're flipping through the phone Sunday morning, you're looking for an update on what's happening, odds are I'll be right here. We'll be talking about the snow falling. So check that out if you'd like. Here we are at 1 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. We have thickening clouds. Notice some of that ocean effect snow that's due to an easterly component to the wind. I see it right in here. You got that easterly wind. See that little ribbon of snow down off of York County? That's the model trying to project some ocean effect snow showers, York County, Cumberland County. You may get some of that ocean effect snow shower activity before the main event arrives. And the time frame for that main event is 7 p.m., at least start time, 7 p.m. to about 10 p.m. And it's going to come down at a pretty good clip during the overnight hours tomorrow night and into Sunday morning. 8 a.m., I think we're waking up to probably several inches of snow over southern parts of the area already. Those of you farther north, it's more of a lighter snow. Darker shades of blue indicate the heaviest bands of snow. Also take note, the temperatures are running the teens and low 20s. So we're not talking about a pasty wet snow. It's not going to be a great storm for the kids to get out and make a snowman or make a snowball or have a snowball fight. This is going to be more of a drier, fluffier snow. But it's not going to be the most efficient fluff factor, I think, simply because we have the wind. Usually when you get a gusty northeast wind, that kind of breaks up the snowflakes a little bit, and you don't get that efficient fluff factor that you can sometimes get with no wind. Also, you get some wind compaction. You know, the wind kind of packs the snow in a little bit. So it's not going to be super fluffy, but it will be dry, and it will be probably a lot fluffier than any storm we've had this season so far, which isn't saying that much. Back edge of the snow moves out, probably, my guess, around between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Sunday. Stay tuned. It might move out a little bit sooner. We'll see. Snowfall amounts, if you're just joining us on, I'll say it right this time. It's not Twitter, it's X, Facebook, and YouTube. First, thanks for joining us. It's 8 o'clock on a Friday night. I appreciate you checking in tonight and hanging out. We're probably talking about the heaviest banding of snow in this area right here. Might be a few spots get up over a foot of snow. There probably will be. That probably should say 8 to 12 plus. But you get north of Portland from Yarmouth, Falmouth, Cumberland, all the way up to Brunswick, Bath, going back to Sebago Lake area. This goes back into northern York County here, going down to southern Oxford County. This extends back into about the Conway area. We're probably talking 6 to 10 inches of snow. That goes back towards Lake Winnipesaukee there in New Hampshire as well. Those of you up towards the Augusta, Waterville area, northern Androscoggin County, Livermore, Leeds, perhaps, Oxford Hills region, Mount Washington Valley. A lot of these areas get into the 3 to 6. And farther north, actually, we'll see. Sugarloaf might get over 3. They might right there, but we'll see what happens there. But farther north, it's more like 1 to 3 inches, and you might get a coating or a dusting up in the northern Piscataquis, Penobscot County, and Aroostook County. It's not going to be a big snowmaker in northern Maine. That's what makes this forecast so difficult at times. We've been not much has changed in the forecast, but it's you know there's going to be a sharp cutoff, and you know that a week out. And it's one of those things where, okay, 25 miles is a big difference with a storm that's a few thousand miles away. So I think the technology is pretty amazing. You can get it that close. All right. If you're still interested in the next few storms, let's run through that real quickly here because I plan on a storm about every 3 days. I mean, this is a very, very active weather pattern here. And we're talking about storm number one. This is the one we just outlined Saturday night, Sunday. That's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Sunday. That's all snow. I'm not concerned about a change to rain. I think it's a fluffy snow. Wind is a little gusty. We'll get some gusts 20 to 30 miles per hour, but power outages due to the fluffy nature of the snow. I don't think that's going to be much of an issue. Tides are running astronomically low, so I don't think we'll see much coastal flooding or any coastal flooding. So it's actually one of those good storms that just kind of hang in, watch the Patriots game, and do whatever you want to do on a Sunday. Should be a pretty good day just to kind of check out the snow and hang indoors or go out and play in it if you'd like. Let's take a look at Storm Tracker that takes us into Wednesday now. So this next storm system is a little more complicated for a few reasons. One, we're going to introduce some warmer air. And the warmer air comes in at the coastline on a stiff southeast wind. One of the things to watch will be if we can pop a little coastal low right in here. If that, for some reason, becomes stronger, that would hold colder air in place. And that happens a lot in the wintertime. If that is not stronger and we just get a pretty good gradient with the southeast wind cranking in, everyone sees a change over to rain, which is probably going to be the case. But the question in my mind is how long can the snow or mix hang that are going to happen with our Wednesday storm? One, coastal areas. You get rain and wind. I don't think we're going to see much, if any, snow at all at the coastline on Wednesday. And it's mostly during the morning. You might get some sun to return Wednesday afternoon. Winds could be an issue. 40 to 50 mile per hour winds are possible coming in right out of the southeast. Probably not as extreme as the storm we had. In fact, I feel pretty confident it's not going to be as extreme as the storm we had before Christmas. But respectable wind is expected, especially near the coastline. Two, with the snowpack on the ground, we're going to watch out for some heavy rain and the potential for flooding. I mean, we've been there before. My hope is that the fresh snowpack will be able to absorb a lot of the rainfall that we get over southern parts of Maine here. So the efficiency of runoff will not be as great as what we had a few weeks ago. I think that the snowpack will probably eat up or absorb at least a lot of the rain that's coming in. And in the headwaters, you're going to see a lot more in the form of probably snow mix as we go back towards the mountains. The mountains could get an entirely different storm. This has the look of a Sugarloaf special. If you're a skier or snowboarder, Sugarloaf, Saddleback, maybe Wildcat, those areas can really benefit from a storm like this, where the cold air is just kind of very stubborn to move the farther north you are and over the higher elevations. So we'll stay updated on that Wednesday storm. I don't think snow is going to be much of an issue for southern and central Maine. You get 25 miles inland, it's probably snow to changing to rain situation. But the ski resorts could really benefit. This could be a real good storm for the ski resorts, at least in Maine. I mean, this is one of those, I always call it the Sugarloaf special. The warm air comes into the White Mountains a little bit quicker than it does up towards like Saddleback and Sugarloaf up into Franklin County there in Maine. So I spent probably too much time talking about the storm number 2. That comes in late Tuesday night and moves through the area into Wednesday morning. Also important to note, it's not going to be a very long duration. I think the sun's coming back at some point late in the day on Wednesday. Storm number 3 is this guy right here. And again, this is just a depiction of how it's possibly going to play out. Yesterday, I was thinking this would be a Friday storm. Now it looks to be a Friday night into Saturday storm, or late Friday night into Saturday storm. So we're talking 1 week from tonight. And this will probably change a bit, but the track looks favorable for snow at this point. The track off to our south that could hold some cold air in place. Next storm will probably be Friday night and into Saturday. And another storm is possible the following week as well. So the bottom line here is every 3 days, I plan on some sort of weather. It's just going to be an interesting and stormy stretch. Tomorrow, no problem. Sunday is our stormy day. We'll get that snow getting going Saturday night. It's our next weather warn day for Sunday. Next weather warn day after that is probably Wednesday. I'm not sure what the warn will be. Probably be a couple of them. There'll be, rain, there'll be wind, inland snow, mountain snow. And that's particularly in the morning on Wednesday. I think the afternoon may end up being okay, or at least getting better on Wednesday. And then things get a little bit better for Thursday, Friday. Next storm moves in late Friday night and into the day on Saturday. And that should be a my guess is a snowstorm at this point. So that's what we're thinking here. Inland areas, also take note how cool it is on Sunday. So we've been talking about the fluff factor, and we haven't had a nice fluffy dry snow. It'll be a little wind packed, but Sunday we're not talking about a pasty wet snow. Temperatures will be in the teens and low 20s. In fact, the temperatures may actually cool a little bit going into the day on Sunday. So we might start in the low 20s, or it might start around 20 degrees, but we'll probably fall back into the upper teens. All right, there's the graphic. Let's just stay on this graphic for a minute while we look at some of these questions or comments here. I do have to run in a minute, so I can't spend too much time on a lot of these questions, but we'll try to find a few, and hopefully I've answered all your questions. It's kind of a fun storm, right? All right, let's see. I would like to take the under without the snow, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was, I like it, 3-0 final score. All right, Jared says, looks like Saturday, but the last chance to mow the lawn. Yeah, that's probably right. It's funny. My friend Pierre, who's one of our studio directors, he was saying he was raking leaves the other day. Why not, right? I mean, no snow on the ground. It's weird start to winter. It's changing though. It's changing. Do I take the over or under on Patriots Jets Sunday because I don't even. That's a tough one. Dave and I were talking about, I mean, the kicking game can't get any worse than it is, right? So, I mean, if there's snow and there'll be no field goals, there'll be missed extra points. You watch, he's going to start hitting them now. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I just like watching. I like watching any sport where weather plays a factor. I mean, and I don't like this artificial grass. I want to see like real. That's why I think Lambeau Field's great. And I love them to take the dome off of Minnesota. You see some real good cold games. That will never happen, of course, but I just like to see sports or watch sports when weather plays a factor in it. 8 to 12 should be in the lakes region and the mountains. 1 to 3 at the coast. Oh yeah, you're right. That might be the case on Wednesday. Probably nothing at the coast, and then 8 to 12. And actually, there might be some spots, Brian, in the mountains on Wednesday that will get more than that. All right, Mark says, keep it coming. What about Wyndham? All right, Wyndham here. Let's see, who says this one? Wyndham is Joe. Looks like Wyndham is in right over on the east side of Sebago Lake. You are in 6 to 10, my friend. Hope that helps. What do you think about the Sebago Lake area? Let's take a look at Sebago Lake. Hi, Colin. Sebago Lake is right there. You're in 6 to 10, Colin. Hope that helps. Yeah, I think Kennebunkport could get. Yeah, this is going to be the area that gets lit up here, and we'll have to see if those bands set up. I mean, forget about that 8 to 12. I mean, we're going to blow through that pretty quickly. And then there's going to be a real sharp cutoff somewhere up here, so it'll be fun. We might get some more changes in this forecast a little bit. I mean, we're still over 24 hours out, so. Snow making a rare appearance. That's it, Gage. It's hard to get a snowstorm this year. Actually, if you're just joining us on Facebook Live, let's go back to that graphic. Let me go back. Hitting the back button. It's like a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation. There we go. Here are your latest first inches of snow on record. Do we do it before midnight? It's possible. Then we'll be tied for 6, but I think we're probably going to be in the tied for the number 2 spot. Can the wind blow snow off my driveway? Let's hope. I think you'll have to shovel, Michelle. You probably will. And it's yeah, that would be nice. Or you could do like what I do. Sometimes just drive over it. It might be too much to just drive over this time, especially at the front of the driveway, the big mound at the end. Excuse me. All right. Hey, Stephanie, so excited. You're excited. I'm excited too. Good deal. That last half of it will be overnight. Yeah. I mean, hey, Sunday snowstorm. If you don't have to go anywhere, I know a lot of folks do, but kids aren't going to school. Might as well snow. I'll be working. I'm coming to work, I think, on Sunday. Pretty sure I am. Let's see here. My home. Let's see what's. All right. Thanks, Lisa. Oh, your home got hit. Well, that's not good. I'm sorry to hear that. So maybe your home was hit by a tree. Maybe that's you're referring to. I'm sorry if that was the case. Yeah, that was a bad storm. We've had a lot of December storms. I mean, last year we had the 23rd, this year the 18th. I'm fine with no more December storms, big rain, windstorms. All right. I noticed Sabatis is right up at the cusp of 6 to 10. What are you thinking for this in the Lewis? Yeah, hi Stacy. That's a very, very good question. I sat here for a while when I was making these contours, or at least messing around these contours this afternoon. And this is the area that I think there's going to be a sharp cutoff. My guess is you're probably either in the upper end of the 3 to 6 in Lewiston or the lower end of the 6 to 10. That's how it's probably going to play out. But there's going to be a cutoff there. And it's crazy to think about because we're talking about 5-10 miles, right? But look at this. The fun part about meteorology is look how far away the storm is. Hold on. Here we go. I mean, this storm right now, here's the center of the storm right there. It's about 1,400 miles to our south. And we're talking about like 10 miles in Androscoggin County. Isn't that cool? How cool is that? I don't know. You got to have a respect for how far the science has come over the years. When you look at it that way, a storm that's almost 1,500 miles south of us, and we're like, oh, is it going to be on the upper end of the 3 to 6 or the lower end of the 6 to 10? It's kind of cool, I think. But everybody wants to know. I don't blame you. All right, 3 to 6 for us in Sydney. Yeah, probably 3 to 6, Barbie. That's the way it looks in Sydney. I think you'll probably be on the other side of the sharp cutoff. Power outages, good question, Ryan. No, I don't think I mean, you might get some isolated power outages. I mean, there'll be some winds around 30 miles per hour, especially near the coast, but this is probably not going to be it's just fluffy snow. It's not going to be pasty. Good. I think it'll be easy cleanup too. So I think we're in good shape. Yeah, Patty, do you think we're going to have a lot of snow in February? I mean, my forecast for the winter did highlight February as the most dynamic month. I really haven't worked on extended forecasts since then. But we'll have to see. We'll see what happens. Usually in El Nino winters like this, February is usually one of the more dynamic months. And one of the things that I almost put in the winter forecast, I like to take these fun little risks and play games sometimes, but typically I found it's just one thing I've noticed over the El Nino years. Usually the coldest week is of the winter is Valentine's, right around Valentine's Day. So let's go with coldest day of the year within a day or two of Valentine's Day. All right, you heard it here first. I don't know. I'm just joking, but I've noticed that's a trend. It's usually February gets cold, and usually it's pretty dynamic during El Nino winters. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Everything seems to be working out so far with the winter forecast. And we were talking about active storm track, but below normal snowfall. It's hard to go above normal precipitation, but below normal snowfall. I mean, that doesn't happen that often in Maine. And so far, I think we've been on to that. I mean, we've had enough precipitation. All right. Check out. Oh, On Your Side on Wednesday. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. A little foreshadowing there. Thank you very much. I'm sorry to hear about your home. That is not good. I will check the On Your Side. Thank you very much. School delays Monday. No, I would be very surprised, Michael, if we have some school delays Monday. I think there'll be plenty of time to clean this up. This is going to be moving out 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. somewhere in there. Hey, Chris Hudner is here. Tell your dad I say hello. Oh, hold on. I'm coming back. Hold on. There you are. Yeah, I mean, dry air at the end may mess things up a little bit, but you bring up a good point with the dry air. I think the dry air at the beginning, Ryan and I were talking about this. may eat away at the first inch. I mean, the atmosphere is pretty dry right now. I mean, do you have chapped lips? I'm starting to feel it just talking right now. I mean, it's dry. It's also dry in the building. We've been running the heat. So a lot of times the models don't pick up on the dry air, and you can see that first inch kind of evaporate before it hits the ground. But I think you're talking about dry slotting as dry air works into the storm as it pulls through the area. I think we're going to get such a good burst of snow Saturday night that a lot of those ranges will verify just fine from Saturday night. Up north from central Maine, in the Western Mountain region, it's that I can see the dry air eating away at that area. So we'll see. A tree limb. Okay, so I'm going back on these comments. So I'm getting the story slowly here, Lisa. A tree limb. All right. Yeah, let's hope all the weak tree limbs. And again, I'm sorry to hear about your home. That's got to be a lot to deal with right now, going through the winter months. But I will be checking out that story, your On Your Side story, pretty soon. But you bring up a good point with the tree limbs. I mean, our next Wednesday storm, which will feature some strong winds or gusty winds, hopefully all the weak tree limbs have already broken. That's my hope. I think that's probably the case. So we won't get as many outages. All right. Southern Maine will lose all their snow they get on Wednesday with all the rain. Chad, you're right. It's possible. My hope is that the snow kind of absorbs a lot of the rain. I mean, if it gets to 50 degrees, which is possible, then yeah, you're going to get a lot of melting. You're going to get a lot of runoff. But if for some reason we can hold on to even some mid 40s while it's raining, that'll be a slower melt, and the snow will be able to absorb the rain a little bit better. I don't know. There's so many variables when it comes to flooding. Going back to the storm that we had before Christmas on the 18th, one of the things that I forgot about, and one of the guys at the Weather Service pointed out to me, Chris Legro, is the variables that we were looking at were snowpack, rainfall coming in. The ground was frozen, so efficiency of runoff was very good. You had all that snow that melted. You had 6 inches, in some cases 7 inches of rain on top of that. So you knew there was going to be flooding, and you knew there was probably going to be moderate flooding. But as far as like the worst flood since 1987, and in some cases since 1936, that was not on the radar, at least on my radar. It's like, okay, we're going to get river flooding, but it's going to be moderate flooding. It's going to be bad, but it's not going to be like a flood, one of the worst in the century. But one of the things that Chris pointed out was, we got that other storm the week prior that brought rain. I don't know if you remember that. So we had the 18th storm, but then there was another rainstorm prior, but it was raining at like 36 degrees. So the snowpack was able to absorb a lot of that rain, and it kind of like a sponge, and it didn't have a chance to melt and run off. So you had what was in the snowpack, maybe just say there was an inch in the snowpack. And then you had another inch of rain on top of that was absorbed by that snowpack. So you basically had 2 inches of liquid in that snowpack, and then you had 6 inches of rain on top of that, and then it all melted away. And the one thing I'd forgotten about was how much rain we had and how cool it was while it was raining the week prior. So that was already primed in the snowpack for that melt to cause problems. So that's what happened here. All right, we're definitely getting way off topic now. Let's leave it there for tonight. All right. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Those of you that are feeling like you want to check out some more updates tomorrow, Ryan will be in with some more updates. Let's just go back to the snowfall map. This is probably what you want to see to end this out. There we go. That's what we're thinking for snow at this point. It comes in Saturday night, extends through Sunday, moves out Sunday afternoon, late afternoon, evening. Kids go back to school on Monday. But Ryan will be in with some updates, of course, tomorrow. We don't have newscasts in the morning, typically on Saturdays and Sundays. And I'll be in to help out with CBS Sunday Morning. That's a popular show, of course, show I like to watch. So I'll do some weather updates within CBS Sunday Morning. And then a few more updates on our digital studio right here, and hand it off to Ryan in the afternoon, right around the time the Patriots start playing at 1:00. So it should be a fun looking Sunday. I'm looking forward to it. So check in back then. Bring the donuts and coffee. We'll chat about it on Sunday. And Ryan has more updates tomorrow. We'll have more updates and new information coming in on CBS 1311 and Fox at 10 o'clock tonight. We'll take a look at that during that time frame. All right. Thanks for joining me tonight. Have a nice Friday night, everyone. Take care.